Welcome back to Fox Explainer. Today I am going to show you an action drama film movie from 2021 called Nobody. Spoilers ahead. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Watch out and take care. A badly beaten man in handcuffs reaches into his pocket for his cigarettes. He slowly takes a can of tuna out of his jacket and opens it as he smokes. He puts a kitten on the table that came out of his jacket. A man and a woman sitting on the other side of the table ask him questions. Hutch Mansell seems to be a normal person. He has 2 kids with his successful wife, Becca, and works in the office of his father in metal laws fabrication business. The monotony of his daily routine is starting to get to him. His son Blake doesn't even greet him when he comes home from work because he doesn't respect him. After another mind-numbing day, he goes to bed and sleeps on the other side of the pillow that his wife has put between them. A neighborhood dog barks. Hutch gets up and goes to find out what's going on. He goes into his daughter's room and finds her sound asleep. As he goes down the stairs, he hears a noise that sounds like someone is breaking into the house. Hutch grabs a club for golf. As he tries to make a phone call, a woman breaks in and holds a gun to his head, demanding money. The man who broke in wants his watch. Hutch notices a tattoo on the wrist of the woman who broke in. Blake runs downstairs and tackles the man as they ask for his wedding ring. Hutch is about to hit him with a golf club, but he stops and tells Blake to let the man go. He gives them a chance to get away. Blake gets a black eye as a result of the attack. Blake is angry at his father, which makes him move away from him even more. The police show up to look into it. Hutch gets mad at himself for not stopping the intruders. His family is sad about him and goes back to bed. When Hutch goes downstairs to sleep on the couch, his daughter Sammy joins him. She is the only person who cares about him. She tells him they need a cat. Blake asks Hutch if he could talk to him for a project he's working on about veterans. Hutch says that he was just an auditor, and Becca suggests that Blake ask his uncle, who was a real soldier. Hutch says that Grandpa was there when things happened. The family gets up and starts their day. Sammy gives him a hug as she goes. The neighbor tells Hutch that he would have beaten the people who broke in. He brags about his new car and says in a cruel way that it's all he got from his father, so there's nothing to be sad about. His week starts all over again. When he gets to the factory, Charlie, his annoying brother-in-law, asks him why he didn't stop the thieves. He offers Hutch his gun, but Hutch turns it down. Charlie tells him over and over again to protect his sister Becca. Hutch takes the gun and puts it in an empty cardboard box behind the refrigerator. Eddie goes up to Hutch to talk about his fair offer to buy his business. He tells Hutch that after working hard all his life, he would like to get a good offer. Hutch tells him that he wants something that is his in the business. After carefully watching the workers on the factory floor, Hutch locks his office door and uses a secret radio in his office to talk to his supposed dead brother Harry. He tells him that he didn't attack the thieves because they were young, scared, and desperate, and because their old .38 Smith & Wesson gun wasn't loaded. Harry agrees that Hutch's answer was right, and he tells Hutch not to do anything stupid. Hutch quits his job and goes to visit his old father, David. When he gets there, David asks Hutch if he remembers who he used to be. Hutch sighs as he walks into his house and sees his family gathered around the dinner table. Blake barely says hello to him, but Becca asks him how his day was. Sammy walks in and says that she can't find her kitty cat bracelet, which was in the bowl with the money that the thieves stole. Hutch leaves and goes back to see his father. His father tells him that he needs to do this thing he has to do very well. He borrows both his FBI badge and gun. Hutch goes to the city to the tattoo parlors and shows them the FBI badge. One of the customers laughs and tells him that the badge expired about 20 years ago. They ask him who he really is. He tells them he's just a man looking for someone and pulls out his wallet. He dares them to steal the cash from him. When they see the tattoo on his wrist, they change their minds and thank him for his service. When the men ask what they can do to help, he points to a picture of a tattoo on the counter. They gave him the address of the person who has it. Hutch walks toward the apartment. The young woman inside boils the kettle and calls her boyfriend, who comes in with Hutch behind him. He threatens them with a gun and tells them to give him back his watch and the kitty cat bracelet. Their shouting wakes up their sick baby, and they beg him to leave. Hutch walks out into the rain and punches the alley wall several times. He is filled with sadness and anger. He boards the bus and sits in the back. A fast-approaching car stops the bus, and 5 drunk Russian thugs walk up to the closed door. A young girl is sitting alone. The female bus driver looks scared as she opens the door. They get on the bus and scare the other people as they walk toward Hutch, who is sitting quietly at the back of the bus. As they surround the young girl, Hutch stands up and walks through them, persuading the driver to let the girl off the bus. He closes the bus door and turns to face the thugs while taking the bullets out of his gun. Hutch threatens them, but they laugh. He lets out all of his frustration and anger and beats them badly. Even though he is badly hurt, he gets ready to fight again. He tells the young woman to run away. She's thankful to him. The brutal fight goes on. He sees one of the men putting bullets into his gun, so he hits him with a steel pipe and breaks the man's windpipe. He helps the man do a makeshift tracheotomy using a straw. As Hutch gets off the bus, he apologizes to the shock driver for the mess he has made and then walks away. He gets back to his house and sees his wife sitting in the dark. She asks him where he went. He tells her that it was just like old times and that he misses her as she gently cleans his wounds. He says that she seems so far away and that there is no intimacy in their marriage. He asks her if she remembers who they used to be. He does. Becca moves the pillow that is between them in the middle of the bed and touches him gently. A passenger in a car yells at the driver for passing the destination. Yulian Kuznetsov, a Russian mob enforcer, gets out of the car and walks across the street to Club Melina. He walks onto the stage, sings and dances, and then walks through the crowd towards a group of men. He asks them if they are happy with the security for Objak, which they are. Yulian introduces them to Pavel, his right-hand man. The group's spokesman tells Yulian that his singing and dancing don't make them trust him as the guardian of their money. He responds by killing one of their stakeholders in a very violent way, then asks if their trust has been restored and picks up his cell phone. Yulian stands by his brother's bedside. The man's brain is badly hurt, and Yulian thinks the attack was done by Objak. One of the badly hurt men in the ward raises his hand and gives Yulian a Metro card he got during the fight on the bus. Hutch seems happy and confident as he gets ready for his day. He tells his son Clark that he is proud of him for taking on the intruders. He gets a phone call from Harry, who tells him to meet with a man known as the Barber. He tells him that one of the thugs is the younger brother of Yulian, who is a very wealthy, dangerous sociopath. The Barber gives Hutch the information he needs and says Yulian doesn't know who Hutch is yet. He says that Yulian will have to take revenge on his younger brother, even though he hates him. The Objak is an operation that deals with hundreds of millions of dollars on the move. Yulian is the current caretaker, and he has grown tired of the job. He is told that Hutch's father lives in a nursing home downtown. They continue to look for him. The man at the Pentagon who has been blackmailed by Yulian's secretary looks through the archives for information on Hutch. He's listed as nobody. He sends this information to Yulian's office. Hutch is happy as he cooks a delicious meal for his family and suggests that they all go to Italy. He sees a car coming and tells them to go to the basement immediately. Yulian has sent a group led by his right-hand man Pavel to attack Hutch at his home. Hutch is standing in the darkness and launches his own attack, killing most of the men. Pavel finally stuns him with a taser. They drag Hutch to the car and throw him into the trunk, where he breaks his wrist to get out of the handcuffs. Hutch finds a fire extinguisher and uses it to blind his captors. A car crashes into a traffic light. Before Pavel dies, Hutch tells him what he is. Hutch rushes home to open the basement door for his family. Becca drives the kids to a safe place. Hutch puts the dead and injured men on his couch and starts to talk. He says that he used to be auditor, an assassin hired by intelligence agencies to kill people who were considered untouchable or too hard to catch. He did his job well until he let a person he was supposed to kill for stealing government money go free. For once, he listened to the man before he killed him. A year later, Hutch found that Alan had made a new life and family for himself and was very happy. Hutch decided to retire against the wishes of his bosses. Since then, he has done everything he can to block out the memories of his old life. He sees the kitty cat bracelet laying next to a pool of blood under the radio. Before he leaves, he tells the dead people that bone burns to ashes at 1,500 degrees without leaving a mark. Hutch admits that deep down, he knew his life was just a show that lasted longer than he expected. He sets his basement on fire and takes a picture of his family with him on his way out. He takes his arrogant neighbor's prized car and drives away. A car with 2 killers in it drives up to the nursing home. They go straight to David's room and approach him as he pretends to be asleep. David shoots them both. Hutch puts a bag full of gold bars on Eddie's desk and tells him that he is buying the company. Yulian sees footage on the news and realizes that Pavel has been killed. Hutch shuts down the factory temporarily. His desk is filled with weapons and ammunition. Harry calls him up on the radio, and Hutch tells him he has a plan. Hutch drives to where the mob is counting the object money and opens fire. He takes down a Van Gogh painting before setting fire to Julian's priceless artwork and the piles of money. Hutch drives to the club to meet Julian and his other men. He pulls out an explosive device that was hidden under his napkin and holds the detonator in his hand. Julian goes crazy when Hutch tells him he has burned everything he has. Hutch tells him that he can either come after him or take what little is left and leave. He then leaves the club. Julian gets angry and calls every worker he pays, and they all go after Hutch to the factory. Hutch doesn't know that David and Harry are inside the factory to help him get rid of the gangsters. They will use a variety of weapons and deadly traps that Hutch had set up ahead of time. They kill all of the gunmen except for Julian, who shoots and hurts Harry. Hutch runs at him with a claymore mine attached to a bulletproof shield and sets it off, killing Julian. He thanks David and Harry as they leave when they hear the police car sirens coming. Hutch calls Becca and leaves a love message. A kitten appears. He gets a can of tuna and a can opener, and then he leaves carrying the painting with the kitten wrapped in his jacket. Hutch is picked up by the police, but they quickly let him go with no charges. 3 months later, while buying a new house with Becca, Hutch gets a call saying that his services are still needed. The real estate agent is asked if the house has a basement. In a scene during the middle of the credits, Harry and David are seen driving along the coast in an RV full of guns to an unknown location. That's all for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. Subscribe for more and hit the like button to help me out, and also leave a comment if you want me to explain your favorite film. Until next time, take care.